Gotta write it down.
All right, I start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Monday, March 24th, County Commission meeting, 12:30. Public comment? State, I know who you are, but please state your name so the people.
I will.
Okay.
These just have the back pages are just what I'm saying and then the map.
Thank you, ma'am.
You need one of these.
Thank you very much.
Am I supposed to go anywhere certain?
You can sit right here if you'd like.
I'm Yvonne Cushenberry, and I live at 3474 Diamond in Tampa. I'm representing Logan Township and the residents of Logan Township. I want to propose that Diamond Road be paved from 330th to 370th, which is the county line. It has a really good base right now because it used to be a highway, and I think that helps. And it is in pretty good shape right now. It is probably close to being wide enough also. There is no way to go north in Logan Township. It's paved in our part of the county. The only way we can go north is on dirt roads, which you can hit concrete up at the county line, or we can go 4 miles east to K-15 or west 8 miles to Roxbury from Diamond, which is in the middle of Logan. There are numerous roads east of K-15 from 330th where you can travel on pavement clear to Hillsborough and even to Peabody. I know there was money for the roads up here, and we haven't seen any benefit from it from the windmills. Also, the wind farm pays money to the county yearly, so I would like to think that could pay for those 4 miles of rock road. I think it would be beneficial for us to have a way to go north without having to go so far to get to pavement. These are something of the money that was designated for us. After all, we are the ones that have the wind farm in our area. Apparently, it's been spent on other things that have nothing to do with our roads. I would like to have some kind of accounting for what $435,000 is what I've heard that the county gets paid yearly. I'm not sure exactly on that. And so I'd like to see what that is spent for. Surely some of it should be designated to our part of the county, not other things as the wind farm went up here. Diamond is a well-traveled road by cars, trucks, and more semis than you could imagine blow by my house at a much higher speed than 55 miles an hour, creating dust like you can't imagine. My trees have so much dust on them sometimes it turns the leaves brown. It also goes completely over my house and out into the pasture. I have sand in front of my house, so I am sure it would be much worse, but it is bad enough. I have a big concern for them driving so fast that I have pets and horses. There would need to be speed limit signs because of the speed these big trucks are going. I would love to have a slower speed posted near my house. Luckily, my pets don't go to the road, and I always let my neighbors know if they have cattle out because it would cause a huge problem if one of them is hit by a speeding semi. I have to give the NL people kudos because they always go slower in front of my house. I beg you to consider this proposal and help us out in Logan Township. I wanted to be on the agenda so I could discuss this with you, but I wasn't afforded that luxury. Now I just have to wait and see if you think it's worth discussing further. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Anybody online? Okay. I'll close public comment. Move on to Ashley.
Do you want one of these? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I skipped the agenda approval. All right. Is there anything we gotta add to it?
I'd like to add 10-15 minutes to discuss the planning and zoning meeting on Thursday and try to redirect their efforts into updating section 27 of the planning and zoning regulations rather than work on those 5 things that were given to them back in October. I think they've only gotten through 1 or 2 of those.
Just add that to the, you wanna add it to the end, you want it at the beginning, you wanna?
We can add it to the end, that's fine.
Okay, so. Works for me, I'll make it a little bit longer, but if it's at the end, I guess it doesn't matter. All right, so now,
Okay.
Ashley,
First, we have the minutes of March 17.
we had a chance to review the minutes. Is there a motion to approve? Motion moved by Kent,
I'll second
second by Dave. All those in favor?
it.
Aye. 5-0. Don't even put the tag on now, I just rip it off, right?
Well, it's just one page too. Next, we have some change orders. right, next we have early checks in the amount of $10,343.39.
Separate email. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve, or any questions?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion to approve by David,
Second.
second by Clark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
I have two more things. The employee luncheon, I talked to Randy, he is respectfully declining.
Okay.
Does anybody have a grill they can bring, would like to bring?
I know that somebody has a big grill.
Does VFW have something?
You're gonna have to have one that's got quite a bit of surface.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either that or 2 or 3 small ones.
Yeah.
Only other one I know is Legion at Hillsborough has a fairly good sized one.
We can try to outsource something.
Okay. And he did say thank you for considering him, so.
While we're on that topic, Mike has found a sponsor for hamburger.
I got Anonymous, a donor that gave us all the hamburger we need. Just need to know when to go to Burdick and get it. It's already processed in the Burdick water plant. Should be good stuff.
Want to bring it up?
Huh?
Bring it up while we're on the topic.
Are they making frozen patties?
I got a patty packer at the cafe.
We will figure out a way to make it happen.
We'll talk to you, yep.
I
Okay,
would consider maybe getting the buns from Evco if we want some nice larger ones, if we're gonna make some nice healthy ones.
What's your
The onion buns that we used to get at the cafe are pretty nice. I'll get with
Ashley?
yeah,
that or something.
just come talk, figure it out. Okay, the last thing, Marcy called this morning and wanted me to let you all know that this weekend, the task force was sent to Morris County on Sunday to assist with a fire. Also Sunday evening, the task force assisted with a car fire that then started a grass fire. Also a grass fire was at 160th and Timber by Peabody, and there has not yet been any declarations. So she wanted me to give you guys an update. Other than that, that is all I have.
Oh. The employee, what day was that?
The 11th, April 11th.
April 11th.
It's the Friday, right?
Yes. At, I think we said noon.
Alrighty.
Does that still work for everybody?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
just wanted to make sure. Upcoming events in our calendar didn't have.
Oh, didn't have it on there?
Didn't have it listed, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. Okay, so moving on. Heather,
May I stand here?
Yes.
sit there if you want.
No, you can sit.
Okay. I have to take my glasses off to read, so please forgive me. I'm Heather Murrow with Safe Hope. We serve Harvey, Marion, and McPherson counties. And I would just like to read our proclamation. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a time to draw attention to the prevalence of sexual assault. Sexual harassment, abuse, and assault are widespread problems affecting all communities. We know that in the United States alone, nearly 1 in 5 women and 1 in 13 men have experienced sexual violence by an intimate partner. Moreover, over 53% of women and over 29% of men reported experiencing sexual violence in their lifetime. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in the community. Sexual Assault Awareness Month aims to raise public awareness about sexual violence and to educate communities on how to prevent it. Whereas 2025 marks the 24th anniversary of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the national theme, Together We Act, United We Change, emphasizes the importance of communities working together to prevent, educate, and create awareness of sexual abuse, assault, and harassment. Education is the first step to action and empowers our communities to be part of the solution. To participate in this effort in Marion County, businesses will be encouraged to paint the town teal in support of sexual assault survivors by displaying laminated teal ribbons in their windows.
Anybody with a motion to approve the proclamation?
So moved.
Motion by Kent,
Second
second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
All right, thank you so much. And I did bring teal ribbons. Would you, anyone like? And we will be in Marion and Hillsborough this week, going to many of the businesses and organizations
Thank you.
with our information and our teal ribbons. There you
I'm
are.
tied up.
Yeah, they're.
Thank
you. Did any of you like one? Would you like one, sir? Okay. Would you like me, sir?
No, thank
Okay. Thank you for having me today. I truly appreciate it and all the support that you give to Safe Hope. Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm glad you were here early.
Yes, me too.
I'll move right on into Brad.
Enjoy your day.
Executive session for litigation matters, please.
Okay.
Time, 10 minutes.
I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss litigation matters, client privilege, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item number 2, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege, with the board and Brad for 10 minutes until 1:02. Open session to resume back in the room following the closed session. Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Out of executive session, no decisions made.
All in one. I need one more. Same topic, potential litigation, but just 5 minutes to make you aware.
I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss potential
So it'll be B2.
litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for item number 2, consultation with the attorney, attorney-client privilege, with the board and Brad until 14. Open session to resume back in this room following the closed session. Second by Clark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, I'm gonna sit right here.
All right, out of executive session, no decisions made. All right,
Damn,
I
yeah.
thought you were going up there.
Right, I went over here. Over there. I was gonna say, where you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to look up that name.
we're gonna move into our planning and zoning added agenda item.
On Thursday, March 27th, the Planning and Zoning is having their annual commission dinner, and then a regular 7 o'clock Planning and Zoning meeting. And one of the items is their work session, the Planning Commission Board to discuss Renewable Energy Directive. And I think that came about back last October, and the commission at that time gave them 5 things to look at. I know one was the population density in the southwest portion of the county, which they looked at that several months ago at one of their meetings. Water issues, the decommissioning, and I forget what the other 2 were, but that's been since I think October. We're looking at 6 months, and they haven't really made a whole lot of progress on that for whatever reason. But I think it's time that we, I've said for the last several weeks that we need to look at our Article 27 zoning regulations, and develop regulations that are made by the residents of Marion County, not the wind companies, for the resident of Marion County, not the wind companies. And I guess I would like the commission to direct planning and zoning to move that direction. I mean, if you look at the existing Section 27, the purpose is to ensure regulatory means of facilitating wind energy development of a commercial wind farm system. But it doesn't say anything about protecting the citizens of Marion County. So I think it's time that we put Marion County citizens first and start that process. I've taken the liberty, I've drafted some changes that I'd be glad to submit to planning and zoning and the commission members and to you guys if that's appropriate.
It is.
Where's this changing at? In the bylaws? In
It's
Article
in-
27?
It's all of Article 27.
I mean, do you think we need to contact planning and zoning's lawyer?
Well,
Ensure it's legal?
yeah, I mean,
I think they'll go changing the rules
it'll have to be,
halfway through.
it'll have to be kicked back and forth to make sure that there isn't any legal
You know, I mean,
issues. But
they should be done with the other
you
before.
have to start a conversation somewhere.
Right.
So I'm not opposed to it. Let's work to make it
Spending more money.
the right box.
Well, they're spending money looking at those 5 things that it's gonna end up not producing anything. I'm saying we change the direction, we spend that money on a process that will provide something for Marion County and for the residents of Marion County.
So would it be best to meet with Sharon and planning and zoning consultant to, try to get them to understand we want them to go that direction?
I'm thinking.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah.
So at the Thursday Planning Commission meeting, we do have the remainder of those 5 items ready for the board, for the Planning Commission. We'll be presenting those, and then those will be brought back to the Board of Commissioners. At that time, you can review those and decide what you'd like for the Planning Commission to do moving forward. If you'd like for us to look at some Article 27 text amendments, then we can get that public noticed and ready for a public hearing.
Develop it all then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with making sure that the box is correct and if there's other avenues that adds extra overlays, then we'll do that too. I don't have any problem with it.
I don't,
It sounds like the committee is done and gets ready to report to us.
Right. And we'll just go ahead and We'll review the text amendments too, all of one, we'll do them all.
Well, I will forward out what I put together to everybody, and they can start looking at it.
Just so we don't have I know this is kind of redundant, but send it, well, Tina's not here, send it to Ashley, and then Ashley can send it to us, and then that way we don't get in trouble for
I can do that.
serial. Yeah. It's all open record.
And you'll forward it to planning and zoning and as well.
Yep, we'll get it everywhere.
I'll do that.
Thank you, Clark.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll put that on hold. Anything else? As far as this discussion goes, planning and zoning act. We'll know more after the 27th and next Monday, so. Commission comments?
I'd like to commend the employees of the transfer station to get cleanup done down there. Looks a whole lot better. I hope they maintain a regular schedule of doing that going forward.
That's good. 1 week's time, we brought it up and it was that's good.
Results the next day.
Next
That's
day.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You can't hesitate.
It's just, sometimes we get complacent.
Tires pile pretty low too.
That's good. The machine.
We attended the Juvenile Detection Board meeting last week. Got to tour the facility. Part of that jail looks like Alcatraz for them kids.
Junction City.
Yeah. There's some controversy between core kids or can care kids going on that we suggested, kind of like we did at the judicial, that we drafted a letter to send to our legislatures or that are in charge of that, our view of that this needs to continue to keep the 90% rating that they have, and in order to continue that, I think it's non-offenders. Sean is the first name of the guy that kind of run that the last 28 years. As far as staffing, he was able to take his wife that retired from public teaching and has put her teaching one of the classes for kind of amusing that she was available to take on some of this teaching of the kids that are there, and seems to be, he met a couple of the guys that work with some of the other kids, even though they kind of keep the two separate kids apart. And at this point, they have enough housing for female and male inmates and kind of keep them separated. They have perks they can get and perks taken away if they don't behave. So that was kind of interesting to see who was on the list, naughty list, and who was on the nice list on the board. And there's a young lady there that's kind of manages the whole day-to-day operations that really, you can tell her heart's in that position, doing the best they can for them kids that are there. So, and pretty intriguing to see how that runs. Obstacles that we'll still have in the future to fund it and deal with the politics of everything. So, kind of interesting to see that. So, last but not least, Marcy and I and Dan and a couple members of the fair board and a couple other contractors got to view the commercial building there at the fairgrounds. I think we're in consensus to move forward with trying to make that work. A rate of $500 a month. Any money that we put into them buildings would come off of that. So one of the things needed the most is a larger door on the north end in order to make that more accessible to get the stuff in and out of there. Just that project alone, the door was like $5,000 or something. A couple of quotes back.
What about the south end?
that door's adequate. You
Just, yeah, I mean,
could, it'll just make it so much easier to pull in from the north end and head out north. And not have to avoid the other buildings to the south of that south.
I'll pull in from the south.
Technically, we need only half that space. One of the issues is if we move something out during the fair, well, from what I can see, even on care-wise, I don't think we should have to move anything out of there as long as we would put like a construction pin panel or construction panel across there, just to make sure kids wouldn't crawl over it if there's kids running around at the fair, to make sure they don't get on the tower or something and fall over. I think we can leave it in there 99.9% of the time, unless we're needing it. So there's an adequate place, however you'd want to say. I was concerned on the main frame structural, we won't have to change any of that for the door, which is good. And we've got a couple contractors putting bids on the project, so.
will the tower go in there?
Yeah, we'll make the doors, I think the north door, we'll make sure it goes through there. We can make it a little bit higher than south. I think, as far as I know, everybody on the fair board consensus is that we move forward with that. If how quick we do it, can we move fairly quickly and get the I's dotted and the T's crossed? I think it's a good move and save a lot of money in the future. And it's our building that we need to maintain anyhow. In the future, there could be some major dollars in the roof, but right now there's a few pinholes up there. I think if we tar them, they were good for a while. So that's being addressed we should have a couple.
We're gonna
Pretty soon.
allow the fair people to.
It's part of the south.
Support stuff there, not charge them anything. I think we should.
So the $500 a month at their suggestion, and as long as our maintenance of the building covers that. I mean, if we put this door in and put the two walk-in doors that don't latch properly, probably after 60 years or however long it's been there, 55 years, we're probably looking at replacing both of them walk-in doors on the south end so that they lock properly. Just help secure this without any issues. So if that's 10 grand or 12, that's like 2 years worth of rent. But we don't pay anything yet, we just pay for the maintenance. We need to maintain that building, it's our building, whether the fair goes away or not, that's 60-some by 120-some building, concreted, that we'll have stuff to store.
So we'd apply all those repairs to the $500 a month till that was exhausted, right?
Correct. And if, at that point, we're looking at probably some roof issues that in the future that, but we still need to maintain them roof issues to where it don't get to leak and ruin the insulation inside, that type of stuff. Electricity, there's some water in the bathroom in the corner. So, and we were in there once, and I don't know what all, other than previous department head was an issue over that. And I think everybody's on board to save some money as a county to use that to its fullest. Even though it's sitting on city property, we can't build that building. I mean, it's over $500,000 building if we build it today. So I think it's a good move if we could
To draw
lease. RC has some stuff, I think it's long as I get with her, draw that up a little bit and move on it as quickly as we could, I guess.
I'll leave that up between you and Marcy. She said, I don't wanna look like I'm kicking the county out, I don't wanna look like I'm kicking the county, so I'm staying out of it, so.
It's just utilizing that building to its fullest that we need to maintain anyhow in the future.
They didn't even use it last year with the.
No.
One of the last big events was the Mennonite or Adobe House Museum auction a couple of years ago.
5 years ago, we had to move out every 3 or 4 times a year.
I think we can eliminate that and still have
They don't use it
security.
anymore.
Since the 4-H building's now a venue, everybody wants to use it.
People want the air conditioned building.
I think everybody, as long as you address your concerns with Brad and make sure he puts it in with the lease, and I'll leave it between and you four, Marcy and Brad, so.
And I think Brian is the one of the fair board members that we've talked to the most, but he's contacted his other members and they're all everybody's on board to move forward with this as quickly as we can. And get our stuff moved in there.
If I'm not part of the conversation, I'll join back in.
So that's what we figured out, I think. However we want to handle it from here.
Any other commission comments?
You have that agreement drafted for next week then, or?
Probably so, because we had one once before that we kind of roughed out, that ended, because there were too many times in and out and there were some other issues at that point.
That was the biggest thing, is just, it took a half a day each time.
Exactly.
They had to find
So if I can find that,
a place to put it.
3/4 of it's already done.
I tell you how many square feet we required last time.
It will fit in half the
It
building.
was over half, but not much over.
It just depends if you want to leave the truck hooked to the tower. The tower's gonna be in there and hooked from the truck most of the time.
I don't think it was ever in there.
It was never.
Our tire's never been in that building.
Mhm.
Tire's never been in that building. I don't think you can get it in there.
Well, that's why we're putting the door in. Plus that door has some issue. That's why we're putting a bigger, taller door on the north
So
end.
it's not gonna help.
It'll go in there, trust me. I have a tape measure. It'll go in there if we put a taller door in. We won't have to change the main frame of the building.
Rough out a draft for it, see what we can do. Or it's going to require a specific amount of time for notice.
It's all a favor to the county anyway. So
As long as you're out by the 30th every month.
it doesn't matter. Let her move in there 3 weeks ahead before the month started.
Yeah.
Just because she had to move out.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. Any other commission comments? I got KAC on Monday or Wednesday. Planning and zoning is on Thursday. That's the only other county functions that I'm.
Not this week.
I have a CDDO meeting this afternoon.
So you and I will hold our updates till next week.
I get Prairie View Thursday. So.
Early next week.
Well, that's right.
Okay. Alrighty, very good. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.